Saka the injury as well. Spurs, this is the first time you're in the bottom half of the table going into the new year since the year that Harry Redknapp saved you, man, from jeopardy. What is going on at Spurs? Wait, you man are both in the bottom half of the table?
Yeah. We've been comfortable.
Hey, what's happened to FCM, man?
Two cheeks of the same
What's happened to FCM? Hey, we fell off. We fell off.
It's so funny, man. It's just so funny, bro, because yesterday was one of them games where, like, if you watched it, you'd be like, Spurs should win. It's two goals you score, 2-1 up. The game you should see out, no problem. And I think for the past couple of weeks, I've been asking for, hey, man, don't be going gung-ho for the 90 minutes. You know, sometimes sit back a little bit, absorb it, hit them on the counter, and we tried that. And then lo and behold, we still concede.
Yep.
So I'm like, yo, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. Like, there's just something about this team right now where individuals don't trust themselves. The team doesn't seem to have any form of consistency. The attack seems to be Kulusevski and Inshallah, and that brother is working all the wonders he can. Credit to him. But bro, this team is what it is this year. I mean, you could go back to any FCM episode throughout the season and the analysis will be the same for this game. Even when we've been good, I've said, hey, we might be good this week, but I don't know what we're going to be next week. 2-2. Bro, at the end of the day, I was like, yo, at least it wasn't a loss.
Do you see him lasting the season? Big Ange.
This is where we've been talking for the past couple of weeks, bro. It all depends on the cups. Because right now he is on a...
If you could look through... Remember when we used to do the mystic ball?
I can't lie to you.
If you look through the mystic ball, do you see him lasting to the end of the season?
I can't see it, if I'm being dead honest.
You guys need to keep Ange.
I agree with that.
Ange.
I agree with that. When we brought him in, it was a long-term project.
Keep him.
He gave us a little something. But the problem becomes when you have a philosophy and you're willing to live and die by that, and there's holes in it. Those holes are costing you every single week. There's only so long. And you come out every week on top of that saying... I ain't tweaking it, I ain't changing it. You start to come across a little bit stubborn.
Yeah.
You start to come across a little bit naive almost. That is all well and good now in the league. If you can get through the cups, people will overlook that. If he now gets eliminated out of those cups and we're sat in 11th, 12th place, how does this become acceptable in any capacity?
You got injuries into your team.
Agree.
You got injuries.
So
you guys rewarded this brother with Bergval, 18. Archie Gray, fair enough, he's in the trenches at the moment at centre back. Timo Werner, which I actually think maybe Ange might have said I want him, to be fair.
I was just about to say.
But, and then, what, Odebear?
Who's been injured.
And you man told him, hey, go and get us top 4.
I agree. He should have been given more. But just because you now have injuries, that's the issue.
Yeah.
The
He's
injuries
doing well.
To be fair, Solanke's doing decent. Even though some games he might not be scoring. If you actually watch him,
he plays well. He's a good striker.
Very well. The issue is those injuries that you mentioned. Once you have Vicario out, Van der Ven out, Romero out, why are you still playing the same way? We sat here, the three of us, 2 years ago when Liverpool were going through their crisis, talking about Klopp.
Yeah, drop
what
the line.
the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Drop the line 5 yards. We're not doing that. So for me, at that point, I have to say it's you. When I see players like Werner who've been signed on for an extra year and that wing position now chock-a-block with meatiness. But you signed that.
Yeah.
Brennan Johnson, you signed that.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey.
He's doing well.
To be fair, Brennan Johnson pops up here and there.
Yeah.
I think Brennan Johnson's going to be a good squad player no matter what. But you can't start him week in, week out. He's not going to deliver you that. But these are the things he's living and dying by. So at the end of the day, this is what you're going to be held accountable to. If you get knocked out of those cups, that's where it's tough to stick by him.
But when I watch Spurs, though, when I watch Spurs, I do think sometimes, though, like, there is games where I'm like, drop the line, why are they so open? But there is games that I'm watching Spurs and I feel like everyone just walks away from the game and just says that generic, he should have dropped the line. And I'm like, nope. Sometimes I'm looking at it, obviously you have, you obviously analyze them more, but I'm just looking at like, I'm still looking at some of the attacking players though. As much as we're talking about the defenders, like, I think Kulusevski's the only one that looks like he wants it, bro. Madders, do you want it? So, Son, I'm sorry, brother. I knew you were missing yesterday. I don't know who you were praying to. I don't know what's going on. Son, you're not on it.
Come in his house,
like, these guys,
and take his chain.
This is what I'm saying. Like Basuma, like these men, they're not showing what Kulusevski's one man running shit, bro.
This is what I want to highlight because when I look at how Spurs are, it's either win or loss. It's always in a delicate balance of win or loss. There's never any steadiness. And like we can talk about the high line, we can talk about the injuries and whatnot, but something I've seen is I've praised Kulusevski for stepping up to the mantle and saying, big dog's not here anymore. Papa's gone. Someone has to rise to the occasion. He's done that. I think that whether it might be profile of player, it might be players not being at the place where they need to buy into what the manager's saying, but I feel like we usually say it's just a Spurs thing, but I think it's very reductive to say that. I think there's a huge mentality problem with a lot of players in your team.
How do you fix it? Let me ask you that.
How do you fix that?
How do you fix a
mentality issue of players
that has maybe haunted this club for over 20 years? But from manager to manager. The thing is, I think every Spurs fan would agree with you.
Yeah.
How do you get over it?
The thing is, you've got a manager that has mentality though. He speaks. People say he's a bit brash, he's this and that. But similar to what we say about Amarin, he's saying he's got a plan. He's saying how he wants his players to be. He's dropping the duds when they're not doing things right. Bissouma. The whole Bissouma thing is
the squad is not that great, innit?
Huh?
Like, the squad's not that
the
great.
squad isn't that great, but ultimately, same thing you said about, listen, even if it's not about talent, it comes to a certain point where if you're wearing the shirt, you got to show something. I just think that a lot of their players just don't have the capacity or mentality to be what they need to be for where this team needs to go.
But I just think when I look at Spurs, I see you guys like it's kind of like United, bro, but you're a smaller club, but it's like United, like where you're going to change the manager, he's going to have a bounce, maybe a season, and you're going to be right back here in a year.
I agree.
I mean, like, I don't know what it is. Obviously, everyone says Spursy and that, but it's like, I do think it's a big culture thing, but the only way, and that could stem from the owners and stuff, but it's about being ruthless, just like what you're saying about us. If there is players that you're clearly seeing that are slacking and they're not, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Bring some people in. But the thing is, Bissouma, like, he's lax out there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you got to make examples out of people. You know what I mean? Like, where's Richarlison this season? Like, little things like this. This is the thing. Like, that's gonna harm Ange, bro. Like, you've got guys out here, but I just think, like, I see you guys as a similar way that I see Man United, and I get it. It's easier when it's not my team and staff to say don't keep the manager, because if you were saying keep Ten Hag, I'll be going crazy. But it's like, I just know you're gonna be back here in a year.
I fully agree.
History's showing us what happens.
No, listen. In an ideal scenario, I would love to stick with Ange regardless of what happens this season. Continue to back him in the windows and let him try and build a squad, as you say, with the plan and the vision and the ideology that he has. I've been happy with what I've been seeing so far. This season, that evolution that we was expecting, it hasn't come. And that's where I think a lot of Spurs fans now are starting to have doubts. Then if you add on top of that the eliminations of the cups, if and when they do happen, people are going to be like, hold on, the things that you promised me now are not happening.
You're saying he basically has to help himself as well.
I genuinely think he cursed himself by coming out with that stupid fucking quote at the start of the season of saying he normally wins things. There it is, it's up there. He normally wins things in his second season. Because now if you don't, everybody is gonna be on you. And it's like, hold on, you promised this. Nobody forced you to. You did. So it's gonna be, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
So
I've said it so many times.
You don't reckon you'll win a cup then?
I would love it. And I think we deserve it. But I can't genuinely see, as you said,
you got
Liverpool in the semi-finals, Europa League and FA Cup, inshallah, we'll see what happens. But the main thing I've always said holding us back this season is I look at that attack and I'm just not moved by it, bro. I know we've got Solanke we're saying is playing good. Kulusevski is playing at a good level. The wingers do not move me in the slightest. Brennan Johnson, he pops up here and there, but it cannot be week in, week out. Son Heung-min in 2024, 2025, on the wing, what the hell are we doing here? I'm sorry. So for me, it's
you ain't winning now.
January, there must be recruitment brought in. If you want to save this season and you want to maybe compete for one of those cups, you must bring additions in January.
I